Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Hello and welcome to another episode of NSE FinWiz, powered by CNBC TV 18 Season 3. This week we're at the Navi Mumbai campus of India's first and only public listed KPO company, eClerx Services. eClerx Services is India's first and only public listed knowledge process outsourcing company. Incorporated in the year 2000, the company provides critical middle and back office operations support through data management, analytics solutions and operational support. NSE FinWiz visited eClerx Services in Mumbai with the country's finest experts to advise and educate the young employees on investments and financial planning. And we're now joined by our two very special experts. We have Gaurav Mashruwala, who's a personal finance planner. Welcome to the show, Gaurav. And we have Harshvardhan Rungta, who's a certified financial planner with Rungta Securities. Welcome to the show, Harsh. Before I come to you, Harsh, for the first question, just like to let the audience know our core topic for today is gold investments. Harsh, let's start off. I want to talk to you about gold by way of how important is it to have gold in one's investment portfolio? Is it necessary to be invested in gold?
Yeah, well, Sumit, if you look at our investment habits over the centuries till date, gold has been one source of one product which people like to invest into because it is a physical asset. You can hold it, you can feel it. It is a universal currency, and you can encash it immediately. Now, when we come into modern era, if your question is specifically what importance does gold have in your investment portfolio? Well, you need to have gold in your portfolio. There is no doubt about it. Okay. The problem is when you overdo, the allocation towards gold goes way beyond than what it should be. Ideally, what we suggest when you invest into gold, what we mean by when we say invest into gold, we don't refer to jewelry. Jewelry is for personal consumption. Okay. And that should not be considered ideally as an allocation into gold. So if you're saying you have 100 rupees to invest, then 10% of that could be into gold, but not beyond that.
Okay, cool. So Gaurav, like Harsh said, so jewelry shouldn't be counted as investment in gold. It's more of a consumption, which is one big myth here. We're going to get beaten up by our wives and mothers and the other women in the house.
I'll blame it on you.
Oh, blame it on me, of course. But then if we are investing, we should be investing in gold. How do you decide what percentage? What percentage of my total portfolio should be in gold?
So Harsh already answered. He said about 10%, 8 to 10% is an ideal way. So this is kind of a ballpark figure, and which I completely agree. However, you will have to look at your existing asset allocation. Number one is how much is into debt, how much is into equity, number one. Also look at, and then gold number three, or as part of it. Also, why are you putting into gold? So is it just to have a balanced portfolio, or is there any marriage in the offing, or is there something for which you will require gold? That's the second criteria. Third criteria is that does family already have a gold? So look at that as well, because many times it's like family has gold and huge amount of gold, and invariably we inherit that because that's one asset class which normally people don't sell off. So equity buying, selling is more or less fine, fixed deposits mature, but gold is invariably gets on to next generation. So if family already has that, it's your parents who have it, or you're going to inherit. So keep all these factors in mind before picking it up, because it should not happen that we go overboard with gold. So family has huge amount of gold, and then our grandparents also have it, and then we end up looking at 10% of our portfolio. So be careful on that. Otherwise, 8 to 10% of gold as a part of overall portfolio is fine.
So now we get gold in the electronic form, so e-gold. So is that a great way to invest compared to maybe buying coins or bars of gold as an investment purpose? Is that a good way to go through gold ETFs, e-gold, things like
well,
that?
actually, this is a very interesting question, because not many people are aware that there are multiple options on by which you can hold gold, you can buy gold.
Right.
Most traditional form is through gold coins, that we go into a jeweler's shop, we pick up something. You're aware there is a making charge over and above the cost of the gold. Now, if you're talking about investing into gold, there are different forms under which you can invest. So the first one being, as we spoke right now, is a gold coin, which is a physical coin in your hand. There is a cost of storage. There is a risk of losing it. There's a purity risk. Okay, you have certified gold, but in case, what if it does not turn out to be the 99.9% or whatever that you've chosen? Convenience is one aspect under which you have different options. Now you have a gold ETF. What is a gold ETF? It's an exchange traded fund. So you can buy it in a demat account. You don't need to hold it physically. There is no problem of purity because it is certified and you know what kind of quality you're getting.
Great. Okay. Akshit Karya. Gaurav, his question is, can gold funds equally give returns as physical gold? Are those funds monitored by the SEBI? What's the thought on that?
So here, the valuation is based on the valuation of gold, number one. Any mutual fund is under the guidelines of SEBI. So if your question is that can gold fund manipulate and do something beyond SEBI guidelines, and the answer is no. Your question on is there a physical gold which is backed? Yes, it is. So all gold funds are backed by exactly the same amount of gold that is kept with the custodian. They are clear-cut guidelines. So there cannot be a situation where you are purchasing a gold fund but there is no backing of gold, or they are violating. So somebody could be manipulating, and that's kind of an offense, but otherwise all mutual funds are regulated by SEBI, including gold funds, and they have to adhere to SEBI guidelines.
It's time for a short break here on NSE FinWiz, powered by CNBC TV 18 Season 3. We'll be right back.